Hi, welcome to ACS Composite. My name is Joseph, and today we're talking about side rockers. Behind me are two C8 2020 Corvettes, and here we have all the different options currently available as side rockers. Side rockers are located at the bottom of the car, so they're basically used as an aero component and also as a protective component, and obviously a cosmetic upgrade to upgrade the styling of the car. So in this video, we'll be introducing you to the Z51, the 1VM, and our 5VM. And we'll also explain how to install each item, deinstall them if you're upgrading, and an overall review of what the product is like. So first off will be the OEM version, which is the Z51. I'll then talk about the 1VM, which is basically a wingless design. And finally, the 5VM, which is a replica of the GM option that was offered in 2020. So first off, let's take a look at the Z51 Rocker Spear. This item is available when you build your C8 Corvette from the factory. It is a dealer installed option, but the same item is offered at the dealership. It is a rocker spear, so it's located at the bottom of the rocker, and it accentuates that triangular spear that's usually body colored. So it does give you a visual color break. It is made in plastic, and it is in textured black. So that's probably the biggest complaint. It's sort of a machined checkered pattern, and it's unpainted, which is really great for durability, but it is really terrible when it comes to maintenance because you can't really wax it. If you do get wax on it, you have to take care to remove it, and it is an eyesore. Since all the trim pieces on the car are carbon flash, the natural thing to do would be to resurface it and upgrade to a CFZ option. It is refinished in carbon flash black, which is the trim color found all over the C8. So we have the spear, if you don't have the optional color match, front hood inserts, mirror trim pieces, diffusers, spoilers. So it is a natural color to go to. So if you've upgraded your splitter to a carbon flash, a natural thing would then be to follow with a rocker spear, also in carbon flash. And basically we go pick up that belt line at the bottom of the car. Now a lot of people have been asking for a full length side rocker, and this is where our 1VM comes in. The 1VM is basically a variation of the 5VM that was designed by General Motors, which we have right here. This is the ACS version of it, but we did do some tweaks. So first off, let's focus on the 1VM, which we have on this car. It is a more conservative, subtle, clean look. It's got a bit of a C8.R inspired stance, and obviously we've deleted the big winglet. This has been basically the love or hate type of design features. Some guys absolutely love it, and others absolutely hate it. I think it's a much cleaner look for somebody going for a more conservative theme. So if we take a look, we have our 1VM splitter in the front, 1VM rocker in the back, and our speed tail. So this car is really trying to tone down its aero. On the other hand, we have here our 5VM option. So this is really for somebody that wants to mirror the factory option that was available in 2020. Obviously this will fit your 2020, 21, 22, until there's a body change, and obviously coupe and convertibles. So this does mirror that 5VM, but again, we've done some design changes. First and foremost, we've extended the bottom of the rocker. So here's the body component, and we'll notice the bottom is much wider than the GM variant. The GM variant basically ended here, so there was just a 1-inch overlap. This was done for several reasons. First off, protection. The C8 Corvette is built on an aluminum chassis with a lower rocker that's bonded to the chassis. So this body color actually rolls under the car. This car here has about 10,000 miles on it, and we've already noticed we've eroded away the paint. So now we want to basically cover all this up, and this is where this extension panel comes into effect. We also notice the bottom portion is not painted, and it is manufactured in PC Composite, which is a very scrape-resistant, chip-resistant material. It was developed for rocker applications, our new splitters, and rock guards. So basically it's a very durable product, and it's really done to withstand the test of time. So it doesn't matter if you scrape or if you chip, it always looks black, easy to maintain, and most importantly, protect the painted surface. Second reason for this extension is leverage. By having this big surface on the bottom of the car, we're able to leverage our winglet. And this is how we were able to eliminate that dreadful hole that needed to be done. It was basically a hole drilled right here, 10 millimeters in diameter, and it was used to hold the winglet. because the GM rocker was so thin, you could have leveraged it and pulled it. So that bolt was an absolute when it was for a 5VM OEM installation. Our version, on the other hand, does not require that. Our larger under tray will basically give us the leverage. In addition, we have a mounting bracket. This mounting bracket is located right here, and it basically adheres to the body seams of the lines, and it gives us a shelf for our side rocker to sit. So this, in combination with the under tray, we were able to finally delete that dreadful bolt. So whether you like the Z51 clean look, the conservative 1VM, or the aggressive 5VM, we are finally introducing the complete ACS rocker line. So I'm ready to install the Z51 carbon flash finished side rocker. And like any install, step one is really to prep the vehicle. We've raised the vehicle off the ground. It just makes life easier to install them. There's some drilling that we're gonna have to do on the bottom side, which is 3/16 drill bits. The kit does come with aluminum split rivets, so those need to get installed. And the first step is really to clean the surface. We'll notice on the inside you have some two-way tape, which needs to be peeled off, and it goes right around here and the top edge. So since this is the last time you'll see this painted portion, you want to clean it as thoroughly as possible. Especially on the other side. It'd be a good idea to get the car coated even beforehand. Along the edge where the tape goes, you do want to decontaminate it. So you want to use an alcohol-based solution and basically remove any wax residue that may be on the car. Next up is fitting the part. We do want to pull out the red flanges so we have access so we can pull them. And as we said, it's an overlay part. So it basically just goes over the surface. So once I have the side rocker properly positioned, by checking if I have a zero gap on it, I'm applying firm pressure in the center. I'm gonna install one rivet in the middle, and this one's just gonna give me some guidance to keep it in that one position. .3/16 hole, one split rivet, and it's fastened. My next step is to peel the two-way tape while still keeping a zero gap. And that is a little bit of a challenge because we're pulling the tape in the opposite direction that it really wants to. We want to pull it this way, but obviously that's not going to happen since the rocker's there. This is my lower tape. I'm not pulling yet. I'm just ensuring accessibility. I have it at zero gap. I'll be pulling this one up, and God forbid it snaps, I still have the front one as a backup, but I will try to go all the way through. I'm applying pressure on the edge, pointing upward, because I'm trying to help or increase the clearance. And I could sense it. The tape is really at the limit of breaking, but I want to be as fluid and smooth as possible while keeping that zero gap. And there we have it. I'm applying pressure, and I have my zero gap the way it was intended. A very tight gap in the front. I had mentioned 3/8. I'm not too sure. I have my C8 rock guards on. I have about a 1/4 inch now, but I'm confident this is correct because again, the gap is zero. That's the way it should be. So the top tape has adhered. I'm now ready to pull the lower flange, which is very easy because I have flexibility on it, the part that is. And there we go. Next is the rivet install. I'm centering it, 3/16 holes. I'm putting in my rivet. So I've locked it into position and I'll crimp it. keep doing this all the way to the front. There's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rivets to be installed, and that will complete the installation. I'll be removing the rivets at the bottom of the rocker spear. These are aluminum split rivets, so they're actually pretty soft. I'm using a drill. I'm gonna put it on low. It's a 3/16 drill bit on it, and pretty simple. I center it. I apply firm pressure. And basically, I try to get a grip on the rivet itself. And the head's disintegrated. I'm going to do this for all the rivets. Once I do this for all 6, I'm able to go back and peel the rocker spear. And we had some 2-way tape on the rear edge. I'm using a trim tool to help myself, otherwise you could tear the panel itself. So now the bottom is disengaged. I'm going to peel and use the pivot action to get the 2-way tape out. And there we have it. We're gonna go back underneath. We still do have some of the residual rivets. So now that the rocker panel's out, I could take a better look and actually pry the OEM rocker and make sure to drill out the rest of that rivet or push it through. I notice there is more adhesive on this area, so I'm probably going to struggle with these, so I'll probably blow some air and try to get them out the front and back. But our next step now is to clean the whole surface, since there's a lot of grime in this area, and we've seen cars with 10, 15,000 miles that actually have worn out paint. So this is where our 1VM complete lower rocker is going to help cover all that. I'm removing the 7mm screw that is common to the rock art. We're saving these. We are using this as a mounting point to our side rocker panel. So it's one of the OEM fasten points we're using. Finally, I have 2 7mm screws in the rear of the rocker. I'm gonna remove them and save these. These are common points to our rockers too, so these screws will go back on, encapsulating our rocker to the car. We now have a great opportunity to clean the surface, since we'll never see it again. If your car does have a lot of miles, or you had an early C8 and you didn't protect it, our rockers will cover all this up. But it is good practice to clean the surface and remove any stains and road tar. This is our mounting bracket for the side rocker. It sits around here, and basically the first step is really to clean the surface. So I'm using an alcohol-based solution. This bracket saves us from drilling into the OEM rocker, which everybody dreads. And the only thing this is really doing is letting the rocker sit on and give us the mounting surface of it. It's molded to the shape of the car, and like everything else, you want to do a trial fit. We have a feature right here which matches the screw, and there we go. And we want the lower portion to be tangent with the edge. The front portion is also tangent to the body line. So this is the spot where it needs to be. So now I'm gonna take it out and redo it all, but I'm gonna get ready by peeling the tape, put my finger on it. I've positioned the feature here, again, tangent in the rear, and tangent right here. So I'm now double checking again that I'm tangent with the body line, flush with the rear edge, sitting on the body feature. I can now gently pull the tape backing. I'm applying pressure to the tape flange. The double-sided tape is actually heat and pressure activated. So it is important that the surface temperature of the car is room temp or hotter, and you apply pressure. Cool. One last check. Tangent with the body line, flush with the rear, sitting on the body feature. So those are 3 key elements to know that this is properly positioned. I will be installing a double-sided tape on the top of the rocker spear. So for this reason, I'm using an alcohol solution to prep and unwax this area.
The tape installation is a 2-step process. First is a 3M double-sided tape installation on the front portion of the spear. Total length is 37 inches measured from the front tip. Create a pull tab by peeling 2 inches of the red backing. Trim the black portion. This will help to peel the tape once the rocker is in position. Second is the black foam installation for the remainder of the length, approximately 14 inches.
I'm peeling the excess backing tape in the front too, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just taping it so I could have easy access to it. So I'm getting ready to dry fit the 1VM rocker. I'm going to make sure that all the tabs are accessible to me, so they're folded up. I also have to make sure that I slide the rocker under the rocker tab. So that's really important. And it is a common tab that we'll be reusing. So that's a little challenge or something to pay attention to firsthand. But I'm under it. And now I can put the rocker on top of the mounting bracket. I'm gonna go back to double check that I am under that rock guard mounting tab. Finally, I could go back up and take a look at the seam. And basically, I want a 0 gap. And this is the reason why I love installing these using jack stands or on the ground, because I'm able to look. For the guys that are doing this at the dealership, I would say lower the car and take a look in this area before you move on to part fastening it. Now the great thing is we are using some common mounting points, which is not true to all the other options out there, including the OEM 5VM or the Z51 Spear or all the other aftermarket side rockers I've seen to date. There's 2 screws I'm gonna go get in the back. I haven't tightened them yet. One thing is certain, you want to apply pressure inbound. So I'm using my left hand to apply pressure inbound and tighten that screw. Doing the same thing in the front, pushing inbound, because that's going to help me to get a 0 gap, and that's what's important. I've tightened it, and let's go look what we did. There's a little bit of flex left in it, but I know I could go get that 0 gap, which we rarely see on other parts. We have 3 7mm at the bottom. We're now happy with the seam in the top. It's time to pull the tape. I start with the central one that's mounted to the car spear. I'm applying inbound pressure and up, and basically I'm trying to free up my tape so that I could get no pressure on the part to tape yet. And it broke on me. Luckily I kept the front portion, and I'm gonna try to give it some room. And this is where you sort of argue, because you don't want to pull too much. Got it. You don't want to pull too much because you want to keep this gap. And I know some of you say, why don't you peel it before you put it on? If you do that, you're not able to slide because the two-way tape obviously is gummy and it won't let you slide. So to me, this is something that you have to be smooth and careful with. So what's left now is to peel the top double-sided tape of our bracket. I do have a 0 gap on the back side. And again, I'm applying pressure upwards to help me clear it. And I try to go continuous. It's always the ending that's a little difficult. Double tab, I got it out. I'm very happy. Apply pressure downward. Next is the rivets on the underside. I'm ready to install the lower portion rivets. The ones on the outer edge are actually common to the Z51 spear we just took out. So I'm simply gonna ream the hole to see if I Mastercarded or slotted it. And it looks like things are lining up really great. This means I could go ahead and install the rivet. This is an aluminum split rivet. Actually the same hardware used by the factory. And what it does, it creates a mushroom on the back side. And we're back to drilling. We're using the part as our drilling template, which I think is always great. And now for the rear edge. Remember, the panel is only 1/8 of an inch in. After that, you're hitting the aluminum frame. We do not want to drill the aluminum frame. On the inside edge, I'm using the shorter rivets. I want to make sure that I catch both the ACS rocker and the OEM, and finally crimp it. To do this, I'm actually applying pressure. We use a trim tool to give me more leverage, or more room, I should say. Drill the hole, short rivet, fasten it, remove the tool. Drill the hole. Long rivet here, and short rivet on the inner edge. Short rivet on the inside edge. Long rivet on the center hole. Use my pry tool to get extra room so I could ensure I crimp. Off we go. Long rivet at the center hole. Perfect. So we're complete. And we are our first 1VM install on our 2020 C8 Corvette. This is our 1VM version, which is basically the most conservative. The biggest request we've had with aero components for the C8 has been, 1, we don't want to drill the hole on the side. 2, we're not big fans of the 5VM winglet. So that is really a feature that's a love or hate feature. The 5VM version of this rocker is coming. So that will be a separate video showing you how to install that. But the principle will be the same. Same mounting points, same mounting fastening system, same bracket, obviously a more aggressive look. The 1VM is something we really could appreciate because obviously it matches our 1VM front splitter. It gives us a lower belt line that goes throughout. So we're losing the little spear feature, which was something I was never a real big fan of. But this does complete it, and most importantly, it gives you a full undercarriage protection, which is something that's really important for the life of the car. So we've seen it on the C6 and as far back as the C7. The rolled bodywork over the aluminum chassis is a great design cue, but it needs to be protected. And this is the ultimate solution. Plus, it's got a styling cue, giving you that belt, complete carbon flash from the front nose, starting with the splitter to the side, all the way to the rear diffuser. So it does really give you that split look. I really think it gets enhanced on a light colored car. We will also be doing an install on our black C8. And on that vehicle, it gives a whole different personality because it really does blend in and makes the car look thicker and wider. So the aero components are really a fun way to personalize the C8 Corvette.